Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Comic Assassin. Let me just start off by saying I genuinely have missed everybody. I know it's been a long time since I made any content. It was a resolution of mine in 2025 to come in here and not only make more content, but try to get back on a more regular basis. But, things happened right off the bat. Got sick, lost my voice, pulled my back out, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just now getting my voice back, so bear with me. But hey, I genuinely have missed everybody, so if you used to watch my stuff and you're here now, awesome. Thank you so much for returning. If you're new to the channel, hope you like what I have to show. Like I always say, if you want to like and subscribe, that's awesome. But more importantly, I'd like to see some comments down below to see if you think the characters I'm about to talk about are worth specking on. Now, I don't normally do a lot of spec stuff just because there's so many people on this platform who already do that and they do it better than I do. But when I heard about this property being a possibility a long time ago, I was stoked, and I've just been waiting for this one specific book to make one of these lists. Because we know whenever there's a casting rumor or confirmation for a movie, show, or something going on with a video game, that causes these books to come out of the woodworks, make this top 10 list, this hot list, and that causes books that would normally be either in dollar bins or in back issue bins to spike up in price. And if you're like me, you don't like paying those inflated prices. So this is a book I think you might want to be keeping an eye out for. Actually, a series of books you might want to be keeping an eye out for. And I'll just go ahead and start by just showing one book that has made the lists time and time again for well over a year now, and that is The Authority #1. All right, this is the first team appearance of the Authority. We get the first appearance of the second engineer, Angela Spica, who has been cast in the new Superman movie. There's also the first appearance of the new Doctor as well. So this is a book that's made on the top 10 list. It just recently made it back on the top 10 list once the Superman trailer came out. Comic Tom talked about it. It's still all day long on the secondary market, $20 to $30. Easy. But not that many people are telling you, go search your dollar bins first. The Authority is one of those runs that you can easily find in dollar bins. And even if you're not into the spec, but you want to read, hit your dollar bins. You can probably make a good chunk of the run by hitting them dollar bins. So there you go. We're talking about the Authority. But this is a team, right? And yeah, we know we got Angela Spica possibly in there, but which other characters could there be? And for that, we need to go further back in time. Oh, and let me start off by saying, this is not a series for kids. It is pretty brutal. There's a lot of sexual stuff in there. There's a lot of SA stuff in there. So this is definitely not one for the kiddos, okay? But in order to get to this, we have to go back further in time to the early 90s, and I don't think anybody expected me to show this book, and this isn't the highlight book, but you got to start somewhere, right? And that is Stormwatch #1. Okay? Very, very common, mass-produced. You can find this in dollar bins all day long, y'all. This is the first team appearance of Stormwatch, but also the first appearance of Henry Bendix, the Weatherman, who does become an enemy of the Authority down the line. So maybe something to keep in mind. But Stormwatch is just riddled with first appearances. You got #2, the first Canon, first Fahrenheit, #3, the first Backlash, and so on and so on. There's different volumes. There's specials. Here's special #1. The first appearance of Argus, and just a lot of people like that read, so if you haven't checked it out, it might be something you might be interested in. But it's later on in Stormwatch we start getting some heavier hitters for the Authority. Now, I will say, Key Collector just recently put on their app that this was the first appearance of a dictator named Gamora. Now, they might know something I don't know, but if they're talking about the same Gamora that I'm thinking of, you need to go once again back to Stormwatch #40. This is the first appearance of Kaizen Gamora, who is a pretty evil dictator and could make for a pretty good villain for an Authority movie or a show or whatever the case may be. So it might be one you want to keep an eye out for. There's also Stormwatch number 47. This is the first appearance of the Changers, where we get our first engineer, our first doctor, but also Eidolon, Blind, Smoke, Wish. I think Wish is in the Authority. There might be a few other first appearances in there as well. But once again, an easy one you can probably find in the dollar bins. Now there's one I haven't been able to find yet. I'm still on the look for it, and that is issue number 37. Now 37 is important because we do get some characters that I wouldn't be surprised show up in an Authority movie. Jack Hawksmoor, Rose Tattoo, but more importantly, Jenny Sparks. Now Jenny Sparks was a member of Stormwatch who goes on to found the Authority. Now I think Jenny Sparks currently has her own run in DC. Spoiler alert, in this set of books I'm talking about, she dies. All right, she's gone, but she does come back as Jenny Quantum. So I don't know what they're doing with the current run, but yeah, 37 might be a good one to pick up because Jenny Sparks does go found the Authority. So there's just a handful of examples of possible teammates and villains that could be in the Authority, and I could go on, and there's a huge lore that's there to be explored. But there are two characters that not only in my humble opinion, but in other people that I've asked, that it just would not do the Authority justice if you did not have these two characters, and nobody is talking about that book. And I'm going back to Stormwatch, Volume 2, Issue 4, the first appearance of Apollo in Midnighter. Alright? I love these characters. I particularly like Midnighter, but just some super badass characters. There's been different renditions of the Authority, and usually these two are always in there. Now, I can see why they wouldn't want to use them, just because they are basically stereotypes of Superman and Batman, which might make them also pretty good characters to have in the Authority as well. But you have Apollo here. He's basically bioengineered to have the power of the sun, basically indestructible. You have Midnighter here, aka Lucas Trent, who basically has a computer chip in his head where he can foresee all the different scenarios of how a fight's going to go down before it even starts. Therefore, he usually wins the fight. I've heard him definitely being referred to as Batman-esque. I also get a little bit of an Alan Moore Watchmen feel to him. But yeah, super awesome characters, and I just don't see how they can have the Authority without Midnighter and Apollo. Now, secondary market-wise, should be said, $30 to $65 book all day long. Both of these books are probably not ones you should find in a dollar bin, but because of the mass production and everything else with these runs, especially Stormwatch, they just easily get crammed into dollar bins. And as you can see, if I can find them for $1, that means there's a chance you can find it for $1, or even cheap in a back issue bin. And even if you don't get it for $1, I think these are characters at least worth just a few dollars, not them super inflated price, to have in your collection, if this is your fancy. Another kind of cool thing about Midnighter and Apollo is they're gay. Okay, they are gay. In fact, in Authority issue number 29, they get married, and this is actually the first comic book where you have a mainstream comic have a wedding between two gay male superheroes, or characters, if you will. So that might be a one to kind of keep an eye out for. But you can go on and on. There's a lot of different volumes with the Authority and Stormwatch. There's different specials, you know, Authority, World's End. There's Team Achilles. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But there's some other cool books you might want to keep an eye out for. This one is the first battle between Superman and the Authority. This is Dream War number 2. Once again, found it for $1. But if you really like these characters, there's some spin-offs and solo series. So Midnighter and Apollo got their own spin-off. The Midnighter got his own solo run. But there's also some mashups and teams up. So there's Grifter. Grifter was a member of the Authority for a little bit. Grifter and Midnighter, number 1. And this is one I think is just cool. The Authority and Lobo, Now, we just got some casting news for Lobo, right? Jason Momoa, I think perfect pick. So, once again, some cool stuff. And there's just some really fun reads. Now, this one is from Garth Ennis, and it just screams Garth Ennis. But The Authority, more Kev. I just love the artwork on this one. But you got number 1, number 2, number 3, and finally number 4. Hopefully y'all can see all those. But yeah, this one has 3 different price tags on it. $3, $1, and all the way back to 50 cents. So that just shows you these books are just thrown around price-wise, and they usually find their way into dollar bins. So that's it, everybody. Let me know if you're even interested in The Authority. Down the line, do you think we're going to get Apollo and Midnighter? Do you think this is a book worth specking on? In my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, don't go pulling a Dazzler or a Lady Deadpool here. Don't go spending oodles of money on this stuff. But do you think it's worth for this to spend a few dollars on this book right here? In my opinion, yes, but I'd love to know what you think down below in the comments. That's it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. I got so much more stuff to show, so please come back, check me out. Because I got too much stuff to show. Hey, I really have missed everybody. I miss doing this. And check me later, all right? I'll see you. Peace.